making things, pointlessly easy in clicking on a painting and changing it, as opposed to standing there for 30 minutes, breaking it off the wall, throwing it back up, breaking it off the wall, throwing it back up, waiting to get the one that you want.
Yeah. I don't know about that blue carpet. I think I might leave it for a little while until I see how I feel about it. But
Yeah, see if it
don't
grows
know.
on you.
Yeah, it's not as nice, but I haven't seen anything from Minecon this year yet.
That's the only thing that I've watched. Or read, rather.
Hmm.
I said I briefly scanned through it to see about the API, and then scanned through that little part where he was talking. I need to read more in depth, or actually watch the recording if it's up, of what they had to say about the difference, the separation of powers between the server and the client part. Because I think that's where it came into, was in the API discussion, talking about the difference between single player and multiplayer, and whether that will be going away. Whether it will be multiplayer regardless. Will mods work for either one, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or will you always need to have having a separate server program cause the mods to have to be written separately? And it shouldn't. Like I said, from just my really brief scanning of the article, I believe that what they're eventually wanting to have happen with that, like I said, with have the information being taken away from the client, is eventually have the server part of the client be the exact same server thing that you start up when you're running like this server. So that when you boot up Minecraft and you go to connect to a server, it'll do like, oh, do I need to start? No, there's a server running there, so the only part that I need to run up is the client part. I don't need to start my own server.
I have to admit, I've never really quite understood the difference. Why it needs to be different.
Mm-hmm.
What the difference between a server and a client is, really. I don't know. I suppose I don't know enough about computer programs and everything to know why they should be different. I always thought it was just a case of, I suppose, a server is a bit like a traffic policeman directing the flow of traffic, is it?
Very much like that, but it's more like think of it as more of not just the policeman. It does that job, but it's also the sanitation department. Think of it as the entire city bureaucracy.
Right.
And that helps to explain the lag as well.
Brilliant.
Because it's the planning, it's the DOT. So when you're walking along, it's what's spawning all the spawning and loading in all the chunks ahead of you. It's the sanitation department that, as you leave chunks behind you, it's the one that gets rid of the chunks behind you and stores them away.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's the police department, so it's taking the information from your client that says you are here, and it sends it, and then sends the information out to me to tell me where you are, and vice versa. It's what's keeping track of all that wheat and crops and trees and everything that is growing out there, so our clients don't have to.
Yeah.
All our clients have to do is take that information and then render it for us.
Speaking of wheat, have you seen what's involved in making bread in terra firma?
I have not gotten to that point yet, no.
Oh, wow.
I've just seen what's involved in actually growing the stuff, and that's been enough of a shock.
Well, yeah. That's part of it, but I don't see how you can possibly survive without killing animals to begin with. That's the only way I can see anybody, surviving without starving at the beginning of the game, unless they happen to find a fruit tree or something that's in bloom.
Mm-hmm. Which once again reflects what the mod's trying to do. It's kind of the Stone Age.
Yeah,
We killed animals long before we discovered agriculture.
Yeah, that's going back to your caveman to cosmos, isn't it?
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
So agriculture, is that involved? Is it?
Well, I have to admit I've not investigated the growing of the weeds and everything, but it's the after effects of making bread and everything. Yeah.
So what do? I know you have to.
You've got to take the wheat and you've got to grind it up in this. I can't remember what it calls it. I've never heard of the word, but
it's a kern.
It's something like that. Yeah. You grind it up in that to make your flour, and then you've got to get a couple of them and add water to it to make it. Do something else with it, and it's quite complex. It's although it's quite interesting. There's loads of.
I knew you had to cook the bread, so I figured you had to make dough in there somewhere.
Yeah, I just wonder how he balances the incredible effort that goes into it with the reward, of staving off hunger. Because I had to kill a cow to survive. Well, I actually killed about 4 chickens, and then I killed 1 cow, and that gave me about. It gave me about 30 steaks or something. No, it must have given me. No, I think it only gave me. No, it must have been a lot less than 32 steaks, I think. Yeah. Which I cooked up and everything. And after about, I don't know how long I've been playing it for, about 3 hours or something. I'm getting through them already.
Wow.
But then I've been doing a lot of running around the hills looking for wood and everything. So.
I figure you'd have to have been a lot more active in yours than I've been in mine so far.
Yeah.
You run through the steaks that quickly.
Well, it's the woods cover an extreme hills biome, so it's all jumping up and down and everything, But I enjoyed the charcoal making and everything like that. I've made charcoal, and actually now I've not actually got anything to use it on really, till I can find these plumbing ores, and I've only found 8. Found 2 tiny little patches that just had a couple on them. Excuse me. I do like that. I like the javelins in it as well. They're great.
Yeah, they're getting nerfed in the next update.
Are they?
Yeah, because they're a little too overpowered, he feels.
Yeah.
I think the damage of throwing them is getting reduced by about, almost half. He said like 46 or 47%. And the damage from stabbing with them is getting reduced by about 1/4. It's going to get reduced by about 25%.
Right, because you would think a thrown javelin would do a lot more damage than the one you stab with, really, wouldn't you? Although I think it took me, 4 javelins to the face of a skeleton to kill it.
Sure. Yeah, he's definitely still tweaking the combat and the damage system and all.
Yeah.
Although
Because I'm sure it said something about location of the hits actually matters. I think it was talking about player PvP, but I noticed something on the forum about it.
Wow, they've actually gotten to that level. Yeah, and the latest episode of Spumwhack that I've been watching. They're down in the cave fighting and discovered that the actual best way to do damage to things was to get them to fall. Shove them off the ledges so that they took falling damage whenever they hit, and that usually killed them a lot quicker than their weapons were.
Right, yeah. I've just watched the ones where you were talking about when they went on that epic sea journey trying to find something and found nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. But that must have been done when with the version where that was what it was generating, weren't it? Basically, endless oceans.
Endless oceans, yes.
But I think he's far superior when he's got what's it called, bead box and
bead knocks.
Bead knocks with him, because he's just sharper and funnier, and You know, it's like you say when he says to me, he says, "What are you doing? The islands, they're not moving." You know,
Right. And
the rest of the
and
time,
the
his humour tends to be that nom 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 bit when he's on his own.
right and more expositionary
Yeah.
dialogue and everything, where he's spending much more time just explaining what he's doing rather than interacting.
Yeah.
And it's around here, yeah. It's far. I'm far better and more at my and more entertaining when I've got y'all around to do all the work, and I'm just sitting back recording it all.
I
Especially
don't
when
agree.
All right, time to go grab another cup of coffee.
Okay, I'll take a quick bathroom break. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
I'm just sorting out my inventory, and then I'm realised this chest has slowly got filled up with all sorts of stuff. Hey, Keebs.
It's Keebs.
Hey guys.
What are you up to, my friend?
Thank you.
There you is.
Right, I'm just going to work my way around to the farm. Just slowly emptying junk out of my inventory. And to cut down the tree, actually you can make a start if you want. I'll throw the diamond axe down in front of the arboretum, door to the arboretum. You'll see it when you come through.
Oh.
You can start with that and I'll catch up with you.
Oh, okay. Been some lag there. It's like, why is it I'm not picking up any of these mushrooms?
There must be a server for it, because I mean, of course, Spunwack's playing on a server.
Oh yeah, there's a server. It runs on the 142 server.
Oh right, yeah.
Alright, the problem is
That's the one.
Minecraft is up to 145, so you can't get your hands on the 142 anymore.
Right, I see.
Which is, I suppose it's not odd, because they don't want to support one. It would, odd's the wrong word. It would be nice if they would have old versions of the servers up on a download and play at your own risk type basis.
Yeah.
Did you say you threw an axe here or something?
Sorry, I picked it up before it despawned.
Okay.
There's some axes in the chest though if you want one.
That's cool. I'll actually go back in. That's what I was coming around to do, was to grab it before it despawned. I'll come over here and finish the other half of the mushrooms then.
Alright, okay, thank you very much.
And then I'll come and help chop trees.
You don't have to.
No, didn't mean for it to sound like that at all.
You meant it to more sound like, oh, and then I'll come and help.
No. Yes, dear.
I'm just trying to keep you busy because you don't seem to know what to do, so I'm trying to keep you occupied. By the time when I finish cutting these down, I've run out of things for us to do here because I've been mining today and I've been building. Now I've been harvesting.
Did you get that last 2 chunks cut out downstairs? You finished?
No, I got a bit
now?
of it done. Just a little bit of it done, and then I fell through.
Ooh.
Ended up battling hordes of slimes and got myself a stack and a half of slime balls in one combat. And thought, wow, that time we put in before trying to find them.
Yes, the 2 hours that we spent digging out is...
Well, at my original base, we really spent a long time digging out those 12 chunks, didn't we? Well, it seemed like a long time.
That's
then,
what
I
I'm
suppose.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, those 2 or 3 hours we spent digging out those chunks really pales in insignificance to the hours and hours and hours you've done recreating Moria underneath your place.
That's one thing I'm looking forward to, is getting deep in Terra Firma-craft.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that. Oh, glad you said that. That reminded me that I want to go back and look at that. Try and find that Dwarven Delight mod and see how they're coming along with it. Whether he's gotten any further toward getting it in a playable state with the ores and everything. Alright, that's all the mushrooms done. Write this web address down right quick so I don't have to come back looking for it.
Oh my gosh. Keebs joined the server.
Wow. www.
Look out, the sky must be falling in.
Minecraftmine.org.
Beep boop.
Hey Key-ebs, I was playing TFC earlier, built my first charcoal pit.
Woot. I haven't gotten that far.
Then set myself on fire while trying to light it and had to run for the ocean.
Sure.
Almost got my first metal ingot. Almost. Ha.
Well, I have skipped a step or two because I can only find 8 ore stones.
142. 142.
But I have a huge forest with dozens of different tree types.
Excellent. Okay. So I'll take that, run it through all 4 of my virus scanners. And then we'll check a look and see.
Believe you've crafted a pick already.
No pick yet.
Yeah. Being ultra paranoid is not a bad thing.
I thought you told me you had, or was it your first ingot you did? Alright, must have been his first ingot, is what he told me he had made.
Was working on the ingot.
Ah, got it.
About halfway there. Still not enough ore.
It is scary. I ran away like a little girl from the first skelly I saw.
It can be very daunting though, that mod, because it is just so big really. It feels it.
Mm-hmm.
But
and it
I read a
shall
little
be.
bit on his forum, and how he said he's basing it on Dwarf Fortress and everything, which I think is a very good thing to do.
Yes. Yes. Well, it's what he says in his explanation, his fact or his information about the thing, is that he's basing it on that because, as he says, this is kind of what many of us thought that the game was going to be, the direction it was going to take.
Yeah,
You know,
before it
much more
started.
survival.
Yeah, getting easier.
Yeah, it's scary, but I do like how, as you spend time in an area, it slowly stops spawning monsters.
You should come join us at the Hive. Mind Fiend would love to show you how to chop down trees.
Ha ha.